अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूअर्स, आप प्रोग्राम देख रहे हैं ब्रास्टैक्स और मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट मारूफ कुरैशी। आज हमने ब्रास्टैक्स की एक खुसूसी एपिसोड का इनेकाद किया है और ब्रास्टैक्स आप देख सकेंगे आज एक नए रंग में। इस एपिसोड के लिए हमारे साथ ताउन किया है इस्लामाबाद के एक मारूफ निजी तालीमी इदारे ने, जिसमें ना सिर्फ नौजवानों ने खुद भी शिरकत की है जबकि उनके वालिदैन भी मौजूद हैं पाकिस्तान नेशनल काउंसिल ऑफ द आर्ट्स के ऑडिटोरियम में। और जैद साहब हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं जो कि लेक्चर देंगे पाकिस्तान के मुस्तकबिल के हवाले से, इस्लामिक हिस्ट्री के हवाले से और पाकिस्तान के मुस्तकबिल में नौजवानों के किरदार के हवाले से। तो मजीद आपको इंतजार नहीं कराते और ब्रास्टैक्स के इस खुसूसी एपिसोड की तरफ आपको ले चलते हैं।
Today, inshallah, we will take you on a fascinating romantic journey. The journey which has courage in it, which has honor, which has dignity, which has chivalry, which has heartbreaks, which has betrayals, which has sweat and blood. And then the destination, the most amazing, most fascinating destination for which it was, everything was worth it. Destination we call home, Pakistan. Today we'll take you on the journey of Pakistan. मेरे बच्चों, ये पाकिस्तान हमें किसी ने प्लेट पे रख के नहीं दिया था। हम आपको पहले उस सफर पे लेके जाएंगे कि जब हमारे बड़ों ने ये पाकिस्तान बनाया किस तरह, और फिर हम आपको ये बताएंगे कि आज ये पाकिस्तान कहां खड़ा है। What a fascinating, what an amazing future awaits you. The biggest weapon of this modern civilization is not their capacity to kill human beings, but their biggest capability and capacity is to spread disinformation and lies. And their biggest attack is against this Pak Sarzameen, this Kishwar Haseen. ये जो निशान है अज़्म आली शान है, ये अर्ज़ पाकिस्तान है। आज ये इसकी नस्लों को तबाह करने के लिए एक डिसइंफॉर्मेशन और झूठ फैलाना चाहते हैं, हालांकि हकीकत उसकी बरक्स है। एक शानदार, एक हैरत अंगेज मुस्तकबिल आपका इंतजार कर रहा है। ये पाकिस्तान अल्लाह के राजों में से एक राज है, वन ऑफ द मोस्ट फैसिनेटिंग डेस्टिनी अवेट्स अस। लेकिन बिफोर वी कम टू दिस, लेट्स सी हाउ दिस वाज क्रिएटेड। विल टेक यू बैक 1400 years ago. When Islam as an ideology exploded out of the Arabian Peninsula, दुनिया ने उससे पहले या उसके बाद ऐसी कोई तहजीब नहीं देखी थी जो हिजाज से निकलकर उस वक्त बैक वक्त दो मेजर सुपर पावर्स को कन्फ्रंट करती है, पर्शियन एंड द रोमन एम्पायर्स। At a time when they were burying their newly born daughters, at a time when their wars would last for generations and decades, at a time when the whole world was in absolute utter darkness, came a beacon of light. The civilization of Islam was created. Our great grandfathers, our elders of the earlier times, they created the most amazing, most magical civilization which humanity had never seen before. आप यकीन करेंगे इस बात को बच्चों कि आज से 1000 साल पहले जो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी और सोशल जस्टिस और मोरालिटी और इखलाकियात और स्पिरिचुअलिटी उस सिविलाइजेशन ने, जिसकी बॉर्डर्स नहीं थे प्रैक्टिकली, फ्रॉम चाइना राइट अप टू अंदलुसिया, they were one country, one civilization, one ideology, governed under one doctrine we call Islam. For 800 years Muslim ruled Spain. The greatest of the greatest civilization was created there, to the time that all modern sciences that you hear today, that you read today in your universities and colleges today, originated from the times of our elders when that civilization was at its peak. Would you believe that we created gliders 1000 years ago? Algebra, mathematics, astronomy, physics, chemistry, medicine, everything that you read today has its foundation built into the civilization which was exploding in Baghdad, Damascus, Cordova, Andalusia, and Central Asia, Samarkand and Bukhara. The most greatest civilization humanity has ever seen. Islam was not spread through the sword. Again, a disinformation. Because when the Persian and the Roman Empire stood there for centuries at the most tyrannical, most cruel civilizations of the time, जब इस्लाम एक तहजीब के तौर पर जजीरा नुमा अरब से निकल उनसे टकराता है जाके, तो कोई कंपैरिजन नहीं है उस पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिक और मिलिट्री पावर का कि जो इस्लाम एक मामूली से, practically absolutely nothing they had, and they confronted two major superpowers of the time. It was not on the basis of sword, it was on the basis of ideology. All those countries which converted to Islam during that time, 1400 years ago, are still Muslims today. Right from eastern Turkestan, right up to North Africa. Indonesia, Muslims ruled for 800 years. One of the greatest civilization was created. Aaj if you have an opportunity to visit Spain, Andalusia, visit Cordoba, visit Granada, visit Alhambra. 1492. But before that, we'll come on to 13th century, almost 1258. Two calamities that fell on humanity. In 13th century, from Mongolia, Genghis Khan came out, and the hordes, the golden hordes of Mongols, they crashed through the entire humanity, practically right down coming to India, on the other axis going up to Europe, but running right through, rampaging through the Muslim world, through Khorasan, through Central Asia, through Iran, through Iraq, coming down to Egypt. It was in Baghdad, and almost in 13th century, when Baghdad was ransacked by the Mongolian armies. Someone asked, perhaps it was Bernard Shaw, when someone asked Bernard Shaw that, agar Musalman Spain se nahi nikale jate to kya hota? He simply smiled and said, insan chand par 100 saal pehle pahunch gaya. That is the civilization we lost. Our forefathers, our elders were the greatest of engineers. For 600 years, would you believe this? Today it seems mystical, unbelievable. For 600 years, the only textbook the world had in medicine, from China up to Europe, in all European universities, Cambridge and Oxford, for 600 years, the only textbook of medicine was written by Ibn Sina, his book Al-Qanun fi Tib, the law of medicine. If you read astronomy today, all the major galaxies and stars have Muslim names. If you read mathematics, algebra, the word itself comes from Jabr al-Muqabila. The word chemistry itself comes from Arabic word alchemia. Practically everything you read today has an Arabic origin. And let me surprise you even more. So many of you have visited California. The word California, where this has come from. California has originated from the term, word, Caliph Harunia, on the name of Khalifa Harun Rashid. This was the impact that our greatest of Baghdad civilization had on the medieval world, on the earlier times, and in the modern world as well. After 1492, the banner to represent the ideology, represent the ethos, the honor and dignity of this civilization, the mantle was taken by the Turks, the great Ottoman Turks. And the Turks represented the ethos, they represented our honor. The institution of Khilafat stayed on. First the caliphs were Arabs, but after the Abbasis, Turks took the responsibility and represented, united the Muslim world. But Turks were primarily a martial race. They were honorable, dignified people, not very interested in scientific developments, not very interested in research, but more of honorable horsemen, soldiers, fighters, dignified architects. One of the most fascinating architecture. Visit Turkey, you find it there. Even the Shah Faisal Masjid that is built in Islamabad is Turkish architecture. But it was the 20th century when the darkest period of the Muslim history came. Indeed, the darkest. Can you even begin to imagine how it must have felt to lose India? For 1,000 years, Muslims ruled India and created a civilization which was tolerant, which was benevolent within. Muslims ruled Spain for 800 years. Not a single Christian or Jew was converted on the basis of force or sword. But when Muslims were